The S Army just adopted a new service rifle round that operates at a chamber pressure of 80,000 psi. That's a stress level high enough to rupture the casing of almost every traditional rifle cartridge currently fielded and severely degrade the structural integrity of most standard military platforms. This isn't merely an upgrade. It's a radical structural revolution in small arms technology, driven by one terrifying necessity: defeating modern adversary body armor at infantry engagement distances. For decades, the standard U.S. infantry cartridge, the 5.6 by 45 mm NATO, has reigned supreme, defining the battlefield by prioritizing volume of fire and manageable recoil. Now, with the formal adoption of the SIG SPEAR, designated XM5, firing the revolutionary 8 by 51 mm caliber, the paradigm is shifting, and the questions surrounding this decision are monumental. We must ask, are the sacrifices in weight and logistics truly justified by the new level of lethal capability this weapon provides? When you first hold the SIG MCX SPEAR, the most immediate impression is its undeniable mass and structural thickness. Unlike the sleek, relatively lightweight M4A1, the SPEAR is a substantial machine, built to contain the explosive forces generated by the new cartridge. This isn't just a simple design evolution, it is a necessity driven by the engineering requirements of the 8 by 51 mm SIG 277 Fury hybrid round. To understand the SPEAR, you must first understand the ammunition it fires. The 8 by 51 mm maintains the general dimensions and bolt face size reminiscent of the traditional 62 by 51 mm NATO. 308 Winchester, but the similarities end immediately upon examination of the case construction. Standard NATO rounds typically operate near 55,000 to 62,000 psi. The military variant of the 277 Fury operates at an astonishing 80,000 psi, or close to 550 megapascals. This extreme pressure is what drives a roughly 135-grain projectile out of the SPEAR's 13-inch barrel at velocities previously only attainable by much longer barrels, ensuring the kinetic energy needed to defeat contemporary hard armor plates. How does the casing withstand this? This is where SIG's ingenuity lies, the hybrid case technology. Instead of relying solely on brass, which would deform or rupture under sustained 80,000 psi loads, the SPEAR ammunition uses a stainless steel base. This steel base handles the extreme pressure at the chamber face, allowing the rest of the casing, the brass body, to be manufactured with thinner walls. This thinner wall geometry creates more internal volume for propellant, optimizing the powder charge mixture to achieve those high velocities, even with the relatively short 13-inch barrel mandated by the NGSW program requirements for maneuverability. We tested a civilian variant of this high-pressure ammunition, the closest we could get to the military specification, and ran it through our chronograph. While our 16-inch barrel test showed velocities near 2,823 feet per second, the service-issued 13-inch barrel will push its unique military load even harder to meet the requisite performance standards. The physics involved mean that every single component of the rifle, from the barrel extension to the receiver, had to be engineered to handle this massive repeated energy output. Starting at the muzzle, the SPEAR is designed to be run exclusively with its dedicated suppressor system. This is a crucial point. The rifle is essentially naked and functionally incomplete without it. The muzzle device is tiny, offering zero flash suppression or muzzle mitigation on its own. The suppressor is a flow-through type, a significant departure from traditional baffle designs. Flow-through suppressors manage the extreme gas pressures inherent in the 80K psi cartridge by diverting and bleeding gas forward, significantly reducing back pressure and gas blowback to the shooter. This makes the weapon surprisingly quiet for the caliber, so much so that our field team noted it felt quieter than even suppressed 6.2 by 39 mm rounds. While flow-through designs often increase flash signature, the overall combat benefit of reduced back pressure on the soldier and the system is deemed essential. Moving back to the operating system, the SPEAR utilizes an adjustable short-stroke gas piston system, giving the operator two distinct settings: normal, optimized for suppressed firing, and adverse, designed to push extra gas volume to cycle the action reliably through fouling, dirt, mud, or extreme cold. We found that switching between these settings, particularly after hundreds of rounds, required significant force, demonstrating how thoroughly the system becomes carbon-locked, a testament to the high heat and pressure the system endures. The barrel itself is a massive component. In direct contrast to the thin pencil barrels seen on many service M4s, the Spear boasts a substantially thick profile. This thick boy barrel is vital for two reasons: managing the massive heat generated by the potent, hot-burning 80K psi cartridge, and maintaining the point of aim during rapid, sustained fire. For a rifle designed to make combat-effective hits reliably out to 500 or 600 meters, distances previously demanding specialized marksman rifles, barrel rigidity is non-negotiable. Our testing confirmed that combat accuracy is easily achievable at these extended ranges. The handguard is similarly robust, a departure from the lighter-weight MLOC systems often seen on commercial rifles. While some shooters might find the handguard chunky, its robustness is critical. A combat rifle must withstand the shocks and drops of a deployed environment without compromising the zero of mounted accessories like laser aiming modules, LAMs, or weapon lights. SIG clearly prioritized durability and rigidity in this design. Despite the massive heat generated inside, the beefy construction of the handguard meant that even after multiple magazines fired back-to-back, the exterior remained manageable without gloves, a significant win for the platform's combat usability. Ergonomically, the Spear shows its SIG lineage and integrates modern combat features. It is fully ambidextrous, featuring magazine releases and bolt releases on both sides of the receiver, facilitating rapid manipulation regardless of the shooter's dominant hand. It maintains the familiar M4-style rear charging handle, which Big Army insisted upon, but also introduces a dedicated, non-reciprocating side charging handle, the preferred method for rapid clearing or manipulation. This dual charging system, however, presents a curious quirk. If the operator locks the bolt back using the side charger and then hits the ambi-bolt release, there is a risk of SIG SPEAR thumb, where the bolt slams shut onto the thumb if it's not cleared immediately. While a minor operational detail, it highlights the necessary training changes required when moving away from the M4 platform simplicity. The fire control group is very familiar to any AR shooter. The trigger pull is M-spec-like, with about 3 millimeters of take-up, hitting a solid wall and breaking cleanly around 5 pounds, slightly smoother than the average GI trigger. The reset is short and distinct. The grip itself is a modern, reduced-angle design, optimizing comfort and alignment for the current high-tech, square-to-target shooting stance. Perhaps the most immediately practical ergonomic improvement is the folding stock mechanism. Unlike older MCX variants that required cumbersome pulling or strange manipulations, the Spear stock folds simply by depressing a single button, collapsing the rifle into a much more compact package for transport, parachute jumps, or vehicle operations, a crucial capability often overlooked in the M4's fixed upper tube design. But we must return to the central paradox of the XM5's adoption, which directly relates to lessons learned a half-century ago: the trade-off between individual stopping power and logistical load. When the U.S. military transitioned from the powerful 62mm M14 to the lighter 56mm M16 during the Vietnam War, the decision wasn't based on caliber superiority, it was based on mission reality. Studies showed that the vast majority of infantry engagements occurred at 300 meters or less, and the decisive factor was not the precision of a single powerful round, but the ability to suppress the enemy and maintain a high volume of fire, enabling a maneuver element to flank. A soldier carrying 56mm could carry significantly more ammunition than a soldier carrying 6.2mm, increasing the unit's ability to maintain sustained fire superiority. The SIG SPEAR reverses this equation entirely. We are transitioning back to a heavy, powerful cartridge designed for long-range performance and armor defeat. The Spear, while manageable for a trained shooter, is heavier than the M4. 8.5 by 51mm rounds are substantially heavier and bulkier than 5.6mm. This forces a reduction in basic combat load. The Spear utilizes AR-10 type magazines, Lancer and proprietary designs, typically holding only 20 rounds of the fat, chunky 8mm cartridge. For a 25-round magazine, the size makes it difficult to efficiently fit onto standard plate carriers. A typical infantryman's combat load will inevitably drop significantly, perhaps from 210 rounds of 5.6mm to potentially less than 150 rounds of 8mm, or even fewer, depending on final logistical constraints. This sacrifice of volume of fire for stopping power raises serious questions about the rifle's performance in close-quarters urban environments, where suppression is king. If you are a highly trained shooter, this is a phenomenal rifle. The recoil impulse, despite the 80,000 psi pressure, is surprisingly gentle and straight line, aided by the operating system and the rifle's mass. It offers capability, the ability to pierce armor and engage at distances where the 5.6mm rapidly loses efficacy. But if we are talking about mass adoption across a massive military structure, concerns surface. Weight and fatigue. The increased rifle weight and ammunition weight will exacerbate soldier fatigue over long patrols. 2. Barrel life. The cartridge is pissing. The extreme pressures and heat inherently decrease barrel life. While M4 barrels often exceed their theoretical lifespan, the Spear's specialized barrels, designed for 80k psi, are conservatively rated around 10,000 to 12,000 rounds. The logistics of replacing thousands of barrels at this shortened interval will present a significant and costly maintenance challenge. 3. Cost. The 277 Fury is an expensive, complex round to manufacture, potentially increasing the cost of basic training and proficiency drills, requiring vast amounts of funding to keep soldiers proficient on the new platform. My conclusion is that the SIG MCX Spear is a magnificent piece of engineering, a highly capable weapon perfectly suited for a specialized, marksman-centric role, or in environments where long-range engagements and the likelihood of encountering armored targets are high. Mountainous terrain or against near-peer adversaries. It is a direct reaction to the experiences in Afghanistan, where 56mm struggled against longer ranges. However, as a universal replacement for the M4 across all roles, urban, close quarters, vehicle-borne, and jungle, the logistical and weight penalties feel steep, threatening the foundational principle of fire superiority through volume. Time will tell how this sophisticated system performs when fielded in mass, and under the relentless stress of war, maintenance cycles, and supply chains. The adoption process will be long, and the rifle itself will likely see many evolutionary changes before it fully supplants the M4. Now, while the capabilities of the XM5 are revolutionary, they mean nothing if the operator lacks the fundamental skill set to harness 80,000 psi of energy. Training trumps technology every single time. Get out there, get instruction, and master the fundamentals, because the best rifle in the world will not save an untrained operator. Next time, we're dissecting the one major competitor that challenged the Spear's dominance in the NGSW trials, a system that dared to think outside the box on gas operation and recoil management. What engineering miracle did they propose, and why did the Army ultimately pass on what many considered the most innovative design? Click here to find out which rifle almost changed everything. Thank you for watching. And please, wear your safety glasses. You only get 2 eyes. Take care of them.